What's up, guys? Warnock Revolution here, back at you with another Tootsie Toy restoration. This is a Cadillac 60 model, 4-door, 1948, at 6 inches long. They made these from 1949 to 1954. I know they made them in red, green, some other assortment of colors, I'm not sure exactly what. But it didn't come in this color originally. I know the paint looks good and everything like that, but it didn't come like this originally. It wasn't painted like this. So what I decided to do was repaint it, and there's some other problems with it that I'll show you in a second. But overall the paint doesn't look that bad. It's chipped in some places, but I really didn't like that this wasn't the original, I guess. So I thought to myself, you know what, I can redo that, strip the paint off and redo it. But here's what it looks like in real life. Here's a 1948 Cadillac Sedan. And here's a model of one of the colors it came in, this like bright green color. It's pretty cool, I guess. The color, I'm not sure if I like that or not. But you'll see what I decide on the color later. I'm just pointing out the underside of this car because some child decided to draw with crayon all over the inside of this model, which looks really trashy. Not only that but one of the wheels comes off because it's super loose, just because it was well played with over the years. It's just really loose on there, so I'm gonna have to replace that. And that wheel's pretty loose, and then these front wheels are actually in pretty good shape, so I'll probably keep those. Anyways, just the underside of the car, and let's just start taking the wheels off. Now, I hadn't known how to take these wheels off in the past. I just researched online how to take these off, but it's really quite simple. All you need is a vice grip to hold the center of the axle, and then you need a second vice grip to just unscrew it like this. It's just like a nail inside of a axle part, but as you can see, I'm just gripping it here and twisting it, and it's really difficult to do this at first, especially I think on this model in particular, because someone painted over the axle parts themselves, so it's like extra stuck. But eventually I get it. So you can see it there, the wheel just flies off into the model itself. But I just show you just a little bit of this, just because I didn't want to just continue showing you this. That would make for an extra long video. But here's some of the paint I took off with it. I thought that maybe on the underside of this paint there would be the original color, but that doesn't seem to be the case at all. I'm looking at the wheels once again to see which ones are like really damaged, which ones aren't as damaged, I guess. It's looking pretty good. It's got paint on the wheels, which is unfortunate, but I'll try to get that off with some paint stripper. But here in my hand, that one's like completely no good, so I kind of put that off to the side. This one, it's probably a keeper. And then that one, it's probably a keeper too. One of these, yeah, that one is no good, and then I'll keep these two. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get the paint stripper on those nail pieces to try to get that off, as well as the wheels. But anyways, that's just what it looks like without the wheels on it. And we're going to try to see if we can do something about that crane on the inside. It's really bumming me out, I guess. Anyways, time to put on the stripper. So we got the car there. Sped up this footage so you guys wouldn't be bored to tears. And just to speedily put on the paint stripper. It really didn't take me that long to do this, put the stripper on there, and it really starts bubbling to the surface in like no time at all. I didn't have to like really wait any time. It just starts bubbling up immediately, seems like. But almost, if you look at the top of the car, it looks like how it's bubbling to the surface, it looks like little blue mountains. I noticed. I just thought that was cool. Cue the time lapse of it bubbling up. No, it's not right there yet. Anyways, yep, put more stripper on here just to make sure it all comes off. And there we go. An up close look on how the surface is bubbling up. Doesn't take that much time at all to bubble the paint up on this model, maybe 10 minutes or something like that. And as I was putting the stripper on itself, the paint was already bubbling up as I was putting it on there, which was like in no time at all, like seconds. It just started bubbling up. So this is a time lapse though of maybe like 10 minutes, and it didn't really do much, but it looks all wrinkly like your grandma or something like that. But after I put the stripper on here and let it do its magic, I decided to put some stripper onto these wheels because there's blue paint on there that I don't want on there, obviously, because we want to make this look brand spanking new, or at least something like that. But yeah, just brush some paint stripper on there like so, and then it looks like it's already starting to come off a little bit. And then we flip them over, and we get the other side like so. Looks like I brushed some paint from one side to the other side of the car. Like I got paint off one side and then I flipped it over and the other side didn't have paint on it. And then I got paint on that side too, which is unfortunate. But eventually all the paint comes off anyways because I scrubbed these down with a toothbrush real good. But anyways, so this is ready for me to take a toothbrush to. So we just start grinding away at it, making sure all that paint comes off. It's like really flaky. I was really surprised how flaky it was, and I decided not to put this underwater this time, like run water over it, because I guess you're not supposed to put paint stripper down the drain. It's bad for the environment and all that, so I decided to just go dry, like dry paint stripper, and try to get that off that way. You know, it works pretty well. I mean, I don't have to waste a bunch of water either, so that's good. The paint didn't come off as well as I hoped it would. I mean, it looked like it really was bubbling it up and it was going to be really easy to take off. But some of these areas, like on the bottom half of the car and around like the door handle area, and just, yeah, in these grooves on the front of the car itself, it was just really hard to get off. And in the grill of the car in the front grill was really hard to get off too. So what I ended up doing is, and I don't show this either, is I end up dunking the whole thing into a jar of paint stripper and then waiting a bit and then scratching that all off. I tried this green sponge as well. It's like a scrubby, I guess. Really scrubbed the paint off, but it wasn't really working, so that's why I ended up dunking it into the paint stripper. But ultimately we come out with this result, which I think looks really nice. I mean, just bare metal by itself looks pretty cool. It was really hard to get the leftover paint out of the little indents of the doors and everything on there, but we managed it with a safety pin, just like last time. If you haven't seen that video, it's going to be linked somewhere in the video. Anyways, that's that. And we are ready to prime it. So I just take this white primer I got from my hardware store, and just start priming her. And I was actually really happy with this time when I primed it. Last restoration video I made for the channel, I didn't like the way that the primer set on there, so I ended up taking it off and like redoing it. But this time it just really worked, and this is the next day, and it's all dry now, and we have to put the color on. So I chose the color Regal Red, as it's called on the bottle or the can, but I thought a darker red would like reminds me a lot of what, you know, in real life Cadillacs look like, I guess, from just driving around seeing Cadillacs just wherever. And I was just like, you know what, I see black Cadillacs and I see red Cadillacs, so I'm gonna paint this red. And I know the last model I did was red too, so I was kind of debating whether or not to paint it something else, like blue, like it was, but like a different color blue, different shade, maybe like a dark navy or something like that. But I opted for this Regal Red. I think it looks really great, as you'll see later when it dries. But something else I also did a little bit later is I took the wheels that I paint stripped, and I decided to paint those as well. But here's an up close view of the car itself, all glossed over because I just painted it. But here's the wheels. I forgot to start the camera, so I kind of painted them already, but then I paint over that. But next we got Tester's silver paint that we're going to be using to paint the details of this car. So that should be fun. I mean, it was fun, so. No, I do not paint this fast. This is sped up footage for your enjoyment. I was going really slow. I kind of messed up right there if you saw that. Just a little blurb right there. But it's where I messed up is where I'm going to paint anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All in this grill and stuff, I kept having to paint over and over and over that grill area because it didn't seem like the paint wanted to stick to the car itself. But ultimately I got there. It really filled in eventually. But yeah, this grill is painted on the originals. The bumper is painted. The headlights are painted. And then I kind of went above and beyond the Call of Duty, I guess. You'll see in a second. I did a lot more painting than what originally was there, so I guess this is a kind of a custom Tootsie Toy now. But I think it turned out really well, so you'll see soon. Kind of painted this off camera. I mean, I get it, but then it's off camera, so you can't really see. It was kind of hard to position the car and paint in front of the camera at the same time. So some of the detail work I don't actually show you, but the majority of it I feel like I show you. So yeah, I think that's looking really nice. Now this is the part where I was kind of like uneasy about, because the last model I did, I tried to paint the hood ornament and it turned out awful. But this time I was going like extremely slow. I sped this up. Wait, did I? No, I didn't. I didn't speed this up. I thought I did, but I didn't. So this is the actual speed, guys. I'm really taking my time, almost like barely brushing the brush over the surface. Just like very delicately touching the car itself. So I painted the hood ornament pretty well. Didn't take me that long at all. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. That line that goes from the hood ornament back to the windshield. And I was just like, you know what? I bet I can make that really straight. I'm gonna risk it, guys. Because last time I did the hood ornament, I just messed up and I fix my mistake without like getting red paint and like fixing my mistake that way. But I'm like, you know what, I could probably do this. I'm gonna risk it. I don't think this was done on any of the original models where the hood ornament is like extended, so doing this silver part right here isn't really necessary. But I was like, you know what, I could do that. I'm confident in my skills and abilities, and I feel like I can do that justice. So as I'm painting along, I'm using like very, very little paint, and I thought I could get to the end of this line that I'm painting without dipping my brush back in the pot of paint. But I run out of paint like right here, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to move my arm and get some more paint, and hopefully I don't mess this up when I come back. And luckily I didn't mess it up, so it looks pretty good. I'm really surprised actually, guys. I'm not really surprised, but like kind of surprised. Confidence in my abilities. But anyways, I decided to paint the back door handle of the trunk, and this footage is sped up. I'm going really slow here, trying to paint that decal on the back. Trying not to mess it up. It's so tiny though, and the brush is tiny itself. It's really small, but at the same time, it's probably not the smallest brush you can buy. But I don't think it looks too bad ultimately. Painting all, there's like these tiny little dots at the top. There's like this V shape and then the tiny little dots at the top. That was so hard to do. But anyways, I definitely go faster in the bumper area because it's a lot bigger, and I don't really have much chance of error. I mean, I have chance for error, it's just not as risky as painting the emblems or the hood ornament. So I'm kind of going fast here, but not that fast. I'm still going pretty slow. But it looks pretty cool, guys. Took me a while to paint the details, but it comes out all right, and you'll see that in a second. I don't paint all up close to the car itself, like the bumper area. See how I'm leaving like a space between the car body and where the bumper like starts? I'm leaving like a gap. I actually paint that off camera because it was too hard to position the car where I wanted it to paint that close to the car. And I end up painting these sides too. These there's like details on the edge of the car. But right here, I'm painting the door handles as my like last step. So I painted the sides of the car too, like the back fenders. I painted that in silver too because I thought that would look nice. And I thought it looks pretty nice. Door handles really like I thought for sure I was gonna mess up right here, but I really don't. It's like really straight lines, and I feel like I'm getting better at painting, to be honest, since the last time I did this. But here is the final result, guys, with the wheels all on there and everything, looking pretty fancy. I really like how this turned out. The old version of this just looked really crappy in my opinion, and now it just looks gorgeous. I just love that darker red paint. I was gonna go a lighter red paint, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go darker and see how that turns out. But as you can see, all the little details are painted and everything like that, and I think it looks really great. My second restoration ever, guys. Don't think I did too shabby on this one. And here's some more up close pictures for you for your viewing pleasure. I really like that front end with the hood ornament and everything, and the grill. I don't know, I like everything about this. I'm so glad I decided to repaint this one and paint all the details like I did. It was really fun for sure, and I can't wait to do my next one. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace.